Actually, I Googled and followed a lot of Instagram pages that were just centered around postpartum stretch marks. Postpartum, definitely, I did feel some like body dysmorphia when I looked at myself in the mirror. You feel very like resentful to your partner because you look at them and they look the same.
Yeah.
They're great, they're fine. They're like doing their hit workouts and running their 10Ks.
Hello, welcome back. This is Disha Shah, and I create videos on how to make, save, and invest money. I have really interesting people in my life. One such story is my sister's. She recently gave birth, my first nephew ever, and he's adorable. But what's more interesting is the journey that she's had. So, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi everyone, my name is Hitashi. I was born and raised in Bangalore, but now I live in Miami with my husband and my baby.
So let's get started. In a position to having to look back through your whole journey in terms of just your body, how would you say whether you were anxious in the beginning, what were your thoughts, what you felt during, and how you also kind of healed that wound that you talk about, and how do you kind of put all those pieces together now?
Um, that is a very good question. I think everyone is different in this for sure and how they feel with their bodies. Like there are women when they're pregnant, they just love the bump and they're like so in love and they're like I loved having a bump as well. But I had a lot of pain. I had PBS, I think it's called, pelvic girdle pain, and it was very painful, and it pretty much made me depressed because I was in that much pain. I think I was like 8 months when I had that pain, and I was just not. And I knew that the bump and the weight of the baby is giving me this pain. So it was very contradicting in my brain that I love having a bump, but I know that it's giving me this pain. And it was to the point that I could not walk 2 steps for some time. It was really, really tough. So everyone's journey is different. And as soon as my belly started getting bigger, I think it was 35 weeks that my skin stretched. And till then, I thought that I can put lotions and oils and creams. I bought everything possible, and I would apply it religiously like twice a day. I'm like, okay, it's not going to happen. And at 35 weeks, it just stretched. And it is genetic. You cannot prevent it. I had realized. It stretched, and I saw that, and I told my partner, I was like, yeah, it's stretched. I'm going to have stretch marks.
No.
And I started preparing mentally that to see that as soon as I give birth. That was helpful. Like I saw actually I Googled and followed a lot of Instagram pages that were just centered around postpartum stretch marks. And I started seeing them as beautiful, and each one is so different. And some people had like tattoos around there, and like it was very, very nice to see like this is natural because there are some people genetically they don't get stretch marks. And when you see those, yeah, it's all about genes.
Okay.
All about genes.
Well, I know I'm going to get it now.
Maybe, yeah. And it's okay. There's nothing wrong with getting stretch marks. And once you start seeing that and you see them as like something beautiful, it's easier for sure. But postpartum, definitely, I did feel some like body dysmorphia when I looked at myself in the mirror. I felt like an alien. Like I was like, whose body am I in? Because as soon as after 3, 4 days your milk comes in and your breasts change a lot, very different, and they change forever, pretty much. A lot of people say, oh, they go back and all that stuff, but I did notice like stretch marks over here. So I'm like, that's not going to go away. I know that. Once it's stretched, right? So I started mentally preparing that this is how it's going to look after I wean the baby, and this is how it will look. And it was quite hard, but looking at images online of other women with their natural postpartum bodies was very, very helpful. I would love seeing those. And I would be like, okay, it's natural and it is what it is. And even with like how I felt, my core definitely felt like I didn't have a core. So I felt like my organs once were like kind of just falling out. So I had to rehabilitate my core. which I still haven't fully done. I still don't feel like I have a strong core.
Hmm.
That could take even months, which I didn't know. Honestly, I thought that you give birth and after a few months it just goes back.
Yeah.
It does not. You have to maybe uh, rehab and do like core exercises which strengthen your core again. Not everyone. This is again my personal journey, and I didn't know about it. And then I looked up core rehabilitation programs and I did that and all of that. I had to
Yeah.
do a lot, and I was kind of angry many times at the world that they don't prepare you. Like they have
Yeah.
one 6 week appointment after you after you give birth. You have a 6 week appointment with your OBGYN. You meet them. They look at everything. They're like, you're good to go. Bye. That's it. No one talks to you about pelvic floor dysfunction. Like your pelvic floor has weakened a lot because you've pushed and you've given birth, right? A lot of women have issues with incontinence. And when they tell some people, like other women, they say, oh, yeah, that's normal. After you give birth, sometimes you have incontinence. When you sneeze, you pee a little.
Hmm.
It's actually not normal to continue on, and you have to fix it. Like, it's not normal for me to have a weak core 1 year postpartum and I need to fix it.
Hmm.
But people don't tell you that. And people
Yeah.
say that, oh, all this happens after you give birth. No, you have to go see a pelvic floor therapist. You have to see a physical therapist for pelvic floor or a core rehab physical therapist. And they'll give you stuff to do, and you
Yeah.
have to take care of yourself, right? And you feel like you have not seen women in your family do anything, like go.
Yeah.
You just haven't seen that, so it feels very like, why am I doing all these things, what's wrong with me? But it's actually
Yeah.
very common. It's very common for women to have these things happen to their body forever. It's changed, and if you don't know what to do after, you feel very like resentful to your partner because you look at them and they look the same.
Yeah.
They're great, they're fine, they're like doing their hit workouts and running their 10Ks, but you can't. I couldn't even do yoga immediately. I used to do yoga and I couldn't do it
Yeah.
immediately because I was like, I don't feel my core and I can't just like do yoga, right? So it was very annoying. Like I would see him and I'd be like, can you not work out in front of me, please? I don't feel good. And he understood that. He was like, it's okay, fine. I'll just go away and work
Yeah,
out.
that's actually
Because
understandable.
it's like I'm like resentful. You have a baby, I have a baby, but look at me and I feel so different in my body and you look the same and you
Yeah.
feel the same. You know, however you look before, you look like that before. I mean after. I mean they could be whatever, chubby, chunky, slim, skinny, anything, right? However they looked.
They're
But you
unchanged.
just look so different postpartum and just constantly looking. Like what I would do is I would look at my body naked more, so I start feeling connected to my body, and once you feel connected you can take care of it. If you don't feel connected, you don't take care of yourself because you're like, this is not my body, I don't know whose body this is. So it's really hard. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it for anyone, but it is hard to come to terms, and you it happens over time. Like now I feel very comfortable in my postpartum body. In the beginning, I had to like change my entire wardrobe to wear something that I feel good in, to like hold my tummy in because I didn't have strong muscles. What clothes to wear? It was pretty intense, but not all women have that experience. Some women are very okay, and I don't know. I don't know those other women. You can interview them, but this is my experience.
Yeah. I do feel like, to be very fair, I think I am always like thinking if I want to be a mother, if I want to have a kid, or will I choose to not. It does have to do a lot with, do I want to sacrifice that much time and work? And then it also comes to body, right? It's not that I'm conscious of my body, but I'm very scared of the change that it will take. And I always think, why? Like, it has to be a conscious decision for me to put my body through so much.
Yeah.
But hearing you talk about like your stretch marks, and I remember I asked her something about stretch marks that it randomly came up, and I remember you just quickly showed me a stretch marks and like, yeah, it's just here, and it's like fine.
Yeah.
And just the fact that you spoke about it with so much normalcy and like acceptance kind of made a very small shift in my head, like it's not a big thing maybe. And you know, just because no one talks about it and I'm left to my own imagination, I kind of make it this whole different thing. Like I look at it as it'll be a different person, not just me changing. So I feel like you seeing pictures of those like Instagram women, it has this similar effect. Like I would encourage you, if you've had people like sisters and aunts and like, I don't know, brothers, wives, who are you close to, like go through this journey, I think openly talk about body changes. It makes a big decision in whether you would want to have a kid or not. Because imagine me choosing not to just because I'm so afraid of these bodily changes and then realizing, oh, maybe I would have been fine. That's the end of the video. Sorry, it was a bit abrupt. This was actually a middle section that I pulled out from my home birth and postpartum videos that I did, only because I thought it deserved its own separate section. Personally, I think, like I said, I've been pretty scared of how my body would change if I choose to give birth, so much that it was becoming a deciding factor of whenever I would choose. But the fact that it is so normal and it happens every time someone gives birth, it's not at all talked about. So I decided that it doesn't matter whether you're interested in the pregnancy or postpartum stuff, every woman out there should have access to just this video. And so I decided to have a separate section. So it does not have an end, I realized while editing, obviously. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button, leave comments on what thoughts you have. If you have other videos, other resources you want to link, then feel free to do so. Join this growing community by subscribing to my channel. And if you stay till the end of the video, then the highest in me recognizes the highest in you. And I will see you again in my next video.